Bullying. Bullying. I've just got off the phone to a parent because her child, like, the school run time, so I think their school finished at like 3:15. You could hear her child still crying in the background. Why? Because her child has been bullied from the start of year 7, which was September, to date. The parents have written to the school. The parents had meetings with the school. The parents have told the child to report it to the teacher, but the bullying still continues. Now, every school has an anti-bullying policy. Now, I'm a parent myself. I have 3 sons, and I remember when 2 out of my 3 sons were being bullied. One of my sons is on the chunkier side, so they felt that he was a beating stick, and it would be like, oh, go and tell the teachers, go and do this and go and do that. My other son, he actually looked like a girl, and he was being bullied till there was a day he was bullied so badly that his ear was ripped in half. And by then it was like, we're no longer telling the teacher, we're no longer calling the school to say that these people are bullying my child. So what did I do as a parent? And can I just say that this is not for me to say for people like, no, actually I take all of that back. Teach your children self-defense. What I did with my sons, I brought them to MMA. Okay? And I said to my sons that if anybody puts their hands on you again, remember, Caribbean and African parents will know what I'm talking about. If you come home and tell me, say, anybody did beat you, I go beat you on top of it. Am I lying? Now, not to say that we condone that anymore. You know, we're in a new space with regards to parenting, gentle parenting, speaking to our children, communicating, etc. However, if you're communicating with the adults in this scenario, if you're having meetings with the adults, if you're writing emails to the adults, but the adults are turning a blind eye to your child being victimized and abused on a daily basis, what I did as a parent was, like I said, I took them to mixed martial arts and I told them straight, do not let anybody put their hands on you. If nobody's going to listen to you anymore and you're coming home with scratches and bite marks and all of these things on you, but that's okay, then so it is okay for you to defend yourself. In the eyes of the law, if it was on the streets, you're able to defend yourself by using reasonable force. So use all of the reasonable force necessary to defend yourself, because you're not here as no one's beating stick. Okay, I'm dropping in and out of a bit of patois here and now, so some of you may not be able to keep up, but try keep up. Because at the end of the day, one of the things that I know as a fact is that mental health concerns are on the rise amongst our children. We have 8-year-olds self-harming. We have 11-year-olds literally taking a razor blade and they've run out of space on their arms, on their legs, on their person where to cut themselves because they are so stressed out and terrified because no one's listening to them. We have children in schools who are going through a lot. And when I say a lot, it doesn't mean that they're coming from an impoverished background or anything like that. Sometimes, like for example, we had a girl, 14 years old, in school, grade A student, gifted and talented, the whole 9 yards. Her mum was, for example, 2 weeks ago, they found out her mum had stage 4 cancer, and within those 2 weeks, her mum passed away, sadly. It was sudden for everyone. Do you know that within her classroom, there was a student who was telling her that her mum is a monkey, she's probably gone back to the jungle where she belongs. So do you know what this child did? She got up out of her chair, the chair fell over on the floor, she left the classroom and slammed the door. 14, quite a normal response you would expect, right? No. Do you know what they did? They wrote a whole statement saying that she's violent and aggressive and a threat to the school society, and she was permanently excluded and placed in a pupil referral unit. No one thought about the fact that she just lost her mother. No one thought about the fact that she's hormonal and 14 years old. No one thought about the fact that she may need counselling or some sort of support. Nope. Straight away, violent, aggressive, a threat to school society. She was permanently excluded and placed in a PRU. This happened 2 years ago. 2 years ago, their family contacted us as an organisation. We got her straight back into the school, but I said that it wasn't the best place for her to go. So we ended up having her placed into a private school where she completed her GCSEs quite happily and has gone on to do amazing and wonderful things. Let me just give you a few more examples of some of the cases of bullying that we deal with. Another one was a young boy registered blind. He had dreadlocks. And he has a one-to-one support worker, so we thought. This child was coming home with scratches all over him, scratches in his face, etc. Till eventually the next day, he came home, his parents went to pick him up from school, and he had his locks ripped out of the front of his head. He had bite marks in his face, scratches on his body, bites on his arms whilst at school. So the parents quickly went to the head teacher's office to ask them, what has happened to my child? Was the head teacher's stance, and turned round and looked at both of them and said, well, I don't know. He must have come to school like that. Excuse me. We have another child. Again, bullying. This time by teachers, not even the other children, his peers. Autistic, high functioning. Is struggling with the noise. Is struggling. And this boy would literally not want to go into the classroom because it's so noisy. He has noise cancelling headphones though. I'll just let you know. The parents bought two, not one, but two pairs of noise cancelling headphones. They were on the teacher's desk. Do you know they literally took this child because he was banging his head against the wall. He then went underneath the desk because he was just so overwhelmed with what was going on. They literally took him by the leg, dragged him out from underneath the table, and then proceeded to shout at this child, stood over him and shouted and screamed at him. He was literally like this, till where he took a pencil and started literally trying to cut his arms out. He then proceeded to go over to the wall and was banging his head. Do you know that they left him there for 15 minutes? Banging to where his head was bruised so badly that he needed hospital treatment. Bullying again by teachers. Another child gone to school doing athletics. And I'm sure I've posted this video before. The area he's supposed to do long jump, you know, they do that in sand. Teacher told him, no, just do it on the tarmac, you know, the running track. This boy then ran, jumped, crack, broke both of his legs. Both, not one, but two. The other students literally turned around in shock and screamed. Do you know what they did? They told him to get up off the floor and stop whimpering. His friends then picked him up and they said to carry him to the reception. Do you know that the child was left in reception for about 3 hours? His legs had swollen so badly by the time he was begging someone to call his mum, they didn't listen to him. They gave him no medical care, no medical attention. Do you know that this boy finally got one of his friends to phone his mum, where his mum left work, to come and pick him up and then brought him to the hospital? His legs were swollen so badly they couldn't even do an x-ray. He had to wait 24 hours. They gave him something for the swelling to go down until they could x-ray his legs. He was supposed to be part of Team GB. Okay? So when we talk about bullying parents, please, 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 I know you've done the meetings. I know you've gone to the school. If it takes for your child to physically have to defend themselves, then so be it. Because we cannot continue to have an environment where our children are so petrified of actually defending themselves and being victims. This victim, not mentality, but this victimhood that we are pushing our children down, where they are trying to take their own lives, where they are taking razor blades to their arms, where they are frightened to come out of their rooms, where they are taking drugs, where they are trying to find any type of escapism but to go to school. Imagine this. You don't send your child to school, you can be taken to court and fined. But if the school are physically and aggressively and verbally abusing your child is supposed to turn up there every single day and deal with it. Just think about that for a moment. But please, these calls with regards to bullying is our number one. Racist bullying and general bullying, regardless of race or nationality, is one of our biggest concerns and problems, and something has to be done. And I believe if you've tried everything else, then the last resort has to be the last resort, and we'll deal with the consequences afterwards. Take care, give care.